My roommate entered our bedroom while we were away. We were watching live.
What'd you catch him doing?
Earlier this year, one of my friends, 29 male, we'll call him Taylor, moved in with my boyfriend, 25 male, we'll call him Charlie, and me, 23 female. Taylor and I worked together and became really close friends. I introduced him to my boyfriend, and now the three of us are friends. However, I am closer to Taylor than my boyfriend is because Taylor and I have bonded over similar experiences. By the way, this comes from user Cave is Closed, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. I'm Keon.
I'm Carly.
And we're here to give good advice goofily. We don't have all the answers, guys. We're just goofy people. We don't know everything. So let us know what you do in the comments. And OP says, the other day, Charlie and I left for a little weekend trip. Taylor agreed to take care of our dog while we were away, which we were happy about. Charlie and I have a security camera in our bedroom. This camera is aimed at the bedroom door and bathroom door. We have a bathroom attached to our room. Very, very paranormal activity-esque, you know?
I guess. I had this for a while.
Just cause? Oh, cause like...
To keep an eye on my cat, to keep an eye on maintenance that was happening,
Gotcha.
General stuff in my room.
Gotcha. So you didn't trust your roommate. Gotcha. Minutes after we left, we got a notification that there was motion in our room. We checked the cameras and saw Taylor just standing in our room.
Now it's paranormal activity.
Yeah. Over the next 30 minutes, he went in and out of our room about 7 times.
Was he looking for the dog?
Was he sleepwalking? It depends what time he was doing this at.
I'm picturing middle of the day, but it could be.
Yeah.
Oh, because then I'd be like checking the back tapes. Like, what if he's sleepwalking while we're there?
That's real paranormal. Oh, ooh.
He flies up to the ceiling.
Yeah. Starts chanting. Oof. It's important to note that up until this point, we have sincerely valued privacy. We never go in his room unless he states it's okay, and vice versa. So we were surprised to see him just walking in on his own. There's an 8th time. The 8th time he went into our room, we saw him go over to my dresser and dig through my panty drawer.
Oh! Oh!
He picked out a pair of panties, pulled down his boxers and pants, and put my panties on. And then put his boxers and pants back on over it.
Oh, okay.
So panties, boxers, then.
So he's wearing them, not just like rubbing them down there.
No, he's wearing them.
He knows you. He has to know they have a camera, right?
Right. A few minutes later, he returned wearing one of my tank tops when he noticed the camera.
Oh.
He slowly backed out of the room, but then he returned later and continued digging through my panty drawer.
So he just doesn't care.
So now he's aware. He returned multiple times later to dig through my panties. All of this is recorded and saved on video. Seeing how he invaded our privacy and wore my underwear made me feel sick, and this needs to be addressed. We don't want to make Taylor feel ashamed for cross-dressing, but what he did with my clothing was disgusting.
Yeah, like, buy your own clothes if you're gonna do that. Do what you want. Buy your own clothes.
Maybe he was putting on a show for you guys. I don't know.
Use your own clothes still.
Yeah. I know as soon as we get back home, I'm going to throw away all of my underwear, and Charlie is going to install a deadbolt on our bedroom door. We don't feel comfortable confronting him about it until we return home and are able to deadbolt our door. Would I be the a-hole if I made him pay to replace all of my underwear and pay for the hardware for our bedroom deadbolt? The only reason I need those things now is because he invaded my privacy. And there's an edit here, but
I think it's going to be a real awkward conversation. I'm totally on team. I would be like, can you pay for some of my underwear, dude? Because that's not cheap. I think the deadbolt might have to be you. You can bring it up, but underwear, I'm 100% like, hey, dude, can you chip in for this? Like, you literally wore some of it. That's not something I'm comfortable sharing. You didn't ask.
I don't know. If this
weird.
was my roommate, I'd be like, hey, you're buying me new underwear, but also I'm not your roommate anymore because this is like a total breach of privacy.
Yeah.
That going forward, I'm sorry. This is just like I can't be thinking about this back in the back of my head every time I leave.
In a lease though, but that's why they're getting the deadbolt.
Yes.
I would talk to your building, depending on what kind of unit you're in. If you're in an apartment, I think if you explain this to your apartment, they might be willing to be the ones to put the lock on your door if it means you'll stay.
Yeah.
Underwear, fully down, agree. Deadbolt, I'm iffy on if he should pay for it. I think if he's like embarrassed and down and willing, yeah, for sure. But ask your building first, and you might have to pay for that one.
My last question before we get back to the story is, you have this camera. Is this the first time?
Right, like, why do you have the camera kind of thing?
But like, yeah, or like, have we not used the camera before? How
Yeah.
is this the first time? Has this happened multiple times?
I'm guessing maybe they don't check the footage.
That's what I'm saying. Ooh.
It sounds like their footage saves, though, so they have the plan that they can go back. I think it's like a month or two, depending.
But
I bet it's to watch their dog normally.
100%. Edit for clarification. Taylor is better friends with me than he is with Charlie. Between the two guys, I'm obviously closer to my boyfriend. I do not prefer Taylor over my boyfriend, Charlie. And we have an update. I left out some details intentionally because thinking about it and making it public was just too disturbing, and I was in denial. Taylor also went in my nightstand to look at and handle my adult toys, and he dug through my hamper to presumably look for more used underwear.
Move out.
Yeah. Now,
Honestly,
on to the update.
Sorry. It sounded like, too, to me, that you guys could handle living in this place alone without Taylor, and he just kind of moved in because he needed a place. So I don't even say move out. I think give him his 30 days notice, or is it 30,
Something
60?
needs to happen, but he does not. Either you guys go, he goes, but he cannot live with you anymore.
Yeah, that would be... Honestly, the first one would probably be well beyond my line of being comfortable living with them, but if it wasn't, this would have pushed me over the edge.
Yes. Now, on to the update. Taylor denied everything.
Oh, you have video!
He looked at the camera.
Did you show him the proof?
Despite the fact that we had it all on video, he tried to make up different reasons why he was in there. Tried to downplay it. Said he only came in to look around, and then he said he doesn't remember even entering our room. We told him he could either move out, go to therapy, or we can move out and he would have to find new roommates. He basically told us no. He said we had no authority to punt him out, and that blackmailing him with the video was illegal.
Cool, buddy. Find a new roommate. We're out.
Unfortunately, he was on our lease, so there wasn't much we can do without taking legal action, so we got to work. We started looking for a new place to live, started looking for a lawyer, filed a police report, and made plans to file for a restraining order. But every single day, I was constantly anxious at work and fearful in my own home because it was clear that he had absolutely no remorse. After about a week with no sleep and constant fear, I finally spoke to my boss about the situation. My concerns were taken seriously, and they immediately began taking steps to help me. I showed them the videos, and they agree that his actions were completely unacceptable, and due to the nature of our work, he is considered a liability and a danger to other employees. They made sure I was in a safe place before they suspended him while they investigated him. During his suspension, I met with my bosses where they continued to support me and ensure my safety. They also made plans to terminate him as he also had multiple negative performance reports. So this whole deal was the nail in the coffin. However, Taylor quit before they had the chance to fire him.
Well, that's a dumb move.
That's a really dumb move, yeah. The day after he quit, he got all of his crap out of the apartment and signed documents removing himself from the lease.
Oh.
He has not attempted to contact me since. And by the way, I'm contacting you to go listen to more full episodes with stories just like this one by going to your favorite podcast app, such as iHeartRadio, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and searching up OK Storytime. There's a little bit left here, but boy, oh boy.
Change your locks. Change your locks. Change your locks.
And get more cameras.
Yeah.
Outside of the house.
Change your locks.
This whole situation has been extremely emotionally draining. Looking back on our friendship now, I can recall multiple red flags in which he crossed clear personal boundaries that I set. I can't believe he was ever someone I trusted and loved like a big brother. But for now, he's out of our lives, and I am relieved. I'm still living with my parents, but I plan on moving back as soon as the apartment locks get changed. That's all I've got for now. Yikes.
Whoa!
Yikes.
Not where I thought that story would ever go.
Me neither.
I'm glad you guys live alone now, and maybe don't take another roommate. Maybe just stick the two of y'all.
Just the two of you, and your dog. I hope your dog was like fine too.
Yeah. Honestly, well, I mean, I guess during the day and stuff, you don't have as much to worry about because you know he's at work because he works with you.
Right.
So it's not like he's home alone with your dog.
Still, just oof.
My roommates refused to lock the door for months, so I taught them a lesson.
I hope you're a good teacher.
In the summer of 2020, I, then 20 female, moved into an apartment with Joel, 24 male, and Sadie, 23 female, who were best friends with each other and acquaintances of mine from school. It was my first time living outside of my parents' house. The apartment was in a really sketchy area of town. The cops were there multiple times a week, and we had items stolen from our vehicles. This was the best apartment we could afford since we all paid equal rent. Joel was a medical student from a wealthy family, but Sadie and I were both earning well below the poverty line. By the way, this comes from Reddit, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. I'm Carly.
I'm Keon.
And we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we would do. Let us know what you would do in the comments. And OP says, a constant fight between my roommates and I was over locking the door. They would leave the apartment completely unlocked whenever they left.
That's so dumb.
Yeah.
If you guys are getting stuff stolen from your cars on a daily basis,
And the cops are always there.
why?
I repeatedly asked them to please keep the door locked when nobody was home, since my laptop and other valuables were in the apartment. I needed my laptop for work, but could not afford to replace it if it was stolen. Every time I asked this, they totally brushed me off and implied that I was being stupid or overly anxious for wanting to lock the door. Insane.
Wow.
I was teased and ridiculed for this request on multiple occasions, and they never respected my wishes. They said that if anything got stolen, we could just replace it. Well, then you're replacing my laptop when it
Shout
gets
out to your
stolen.
privilege. Sounds like you're really privileged. Wow.
Which is wild because they said only one of them's wealthy.
Well, yeah.
So you'd think the other one would understand and be like, I also can't afford to replace it.
Right?
I'd be like, fully, y'all are replacing my stuff then.
Wow.
If it's stolen on your account.
Wow.
I came home on many occasions to an empty apartment with the door unlocked. They were okay roommates other than that, but this was a recurring point of tension.
At this point, just like, you know what? Open the door. Just leave the door open.
Might as well.
Let everyone in.
After a few months of living with them, I moved into a different apartment in the same complex with my friend Maggie, 24 female. Maggie and I were very much on the same page about keeping the door locked. We remained relatively cordial with Joel and Sadie and occasionally said hi in the parking lot, but we didn't hang out with them since they weren't taking the vid seriously at all. One evening, I was cooking dinner alone in my apartment, and to my dismay, our potato peeler was nowhere to be found. I scoured the whole kitchen and couldn't find it. And unfortunately, the peeler was essential to the meal I was making. I decided to go see if Joel and Sadie were home and willing to loan me their potato peeler. I walked over to their building. Our keys got us into any buildings in the complex. Went up to their apartment and knocked on the door. No answer. But by the way, here's my answer for you guys. Go listen to more full episodes with stories just like this. Go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or iHeartRadio and search up OK Storytime. We've got a little bit
Couple
left.
things here. One, where did your potato peeler go?
Well, one, you can peel potatoes a little bit harder, but you can peel them with a normal knife.
Yeah. It's going to take a little bit longer, but
You might lose a little potato. It's possible.
yeah, okay. That's one thing. But where did the potato peeler go? There's one thing that did come out from like what you read that is probably not pertinent to the story, but isn't I forgot his name. Joel, thank you. He's a nurse.
Yeah. Well,
Doesn't take
he's
the vid.
going to,
Does not take the vid seriously. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. That's one
Unfortunately,
thing.
I heard of that all too much.
Yeah. That's one thing.
Um,
Crazy.
I was initially, when I thought I knew where this was going to be like, you are kind of the a-hole because you should have just left that in the past. If it's just for a potato peeler and you just go in and take the potato peeler, I'm kind of a little more wishy-washy. Why would you want to go into this vid apartment?
Yeah. Well,
But
if this was like, if it's not that serious, it's potato
Yeah.
peeler.
if you went in to teach them, if you're about to go in to teach them a lesson and you're going to take their expensive stuff, I am going to say you're a bit of an a-hole. You should have just left it where it was and let them deal with those consequences.
I don't think OP's going to do that. I think OP's just going to be like,
If
walk
they just
in.
take the potato peeler, we're fine.
Yeah. What is this like?
You can explain what happened.
Is this like Seinfeld?
Hey, I went in and grabbed your potato peeler. I'll give it back later.
Yeah. Huh. Let's see.
But let's see. Then something snapped in me. Though I knew I shouldn't, I tried the door, and of course it was unlocked. I went into their dark, empty apartment, grabbed their potato peeler out of their kitchen drawer, took it back to my own apartment, and never said anything to them about it. 6 years later, I still have that potato peeler. Small revenge, but extremely satisfying. That's the end of that story. Did you not tell them that you went in?
Yeah.
I guess they probably just assumed they lost their potato peeler.
Interesting. Yeah. I guess we'll never find out what happened to your potato peeler.
Part of me is like, did you leave your potato peeler when you moved and that was yours the whole time?
Exactly.
Or did you and Sadie have one? Or not Sadie. Maggie.
Yeah. Huh. My roommate made a spreadsheet ranking my housework, so I played by his rules.
That's kind of weird.
I live with 4 other adults in a rented house, and for the most part, it works because we all hate different things. I do the long, gross, annoying chores without much complaining. I'm the one who deep cleans the fridge when it starts smelling haunted. I take apart the vacuum when someone inhales a sock. Who's inhaling socks when they vacuum?
What?
Yeah.
The vacuum's eating the socks.
I know, but who does? Like, you don't see the sock?
Sometimes they're under chairs, couches.
I always check
when
first.
you live with that many adults, things go under the couches and stuff.
I scrub the shower drain, get the mystery sludge out of the sink trap, that kind of stuff. By the way, this comes from user TideMarkArl, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. I'm Keon.
I'm Carly.
And we're here to give good advice goofily. We don't have all the answers, we only know what we do, so let us know what you do in the comments. As Opie says, everyone else tends to do the quick, visible chores like wiping counters, taking out a trash bag, refilling the Brita, putting stray cups back in the kitchen. It balanced out fine because our old roommate, who sort of managed the chore app, understood that one awful Saturday job is not the same as 8 30-second tasks. Then she moved in with her girlfriend, and one of the other roommates got very into fairness and made a spreadsheet to go with that app. About 10 days after I got back from visiting my cousin, he asked for a house meeting and came in acting like he was presenting quarterly earnings. This is annoying.
Is he a business major? Sounds like a business major.
He had totals for everybody. Apparently, he had completed 68 chores in 6 weeks. Another roommate had 52. And I had 14. He said it was not personal, but numbers are numbers. And I needed to start doing at least 4 chores a day until I caught up. I'd be like, hey, shut up. You mean to tell me you did 38 medial tasks of I wiped the counters? That's it. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I
guess
I did everything else.
It's time to start splitting up the tasks. You guys can do the hard ones. We'll split this perfectly evenly.
Also, to have that much time to be this petty is a lot. This is a lot. I honestly thought he was joking. I pointed out that 2 of my 14 chores were like defrosting the freezer and fixing the toilet handle, which took actual time. And that his list including gems like putting the mail in a neat pile and changing the hand towel.
Now, I will say, I agree. Very different tasks. Defrosting a freezer, though, you just kind of leave it open. Like, yeah, you have to be home to check it afterwards, but
I think defrosting the freezer,
unless
but
you're
also like
actively like
it.
ice chip in the back.
No, I think you have to clean it too.
No, I get
takes
that,
time.
but that's...
Yeah. Let's not compare small task to big task, my guy. He said a completed chore is a completed chore, and I cannot ask for special treatment just because my chores were more complex. Okay, great. Message is received. The next afternoon, I became an absolute demon of tiny household tasks. I replaced every toilet paper roll that was under half, refilled the soap in both bathrooms, put all the shoes by the door in a straight line, watered the plants, folded the throw blankets, emptied the lint trap, wiped fingerprints off the fridge handles, sorted the random battery drawer, shook out the doormat, put the coasters back on the coffee table, gathered all the cups from bedrooms, matched stray socks from the dryer, and on and on. And speaking of on and on, we have full episodes that keep going on and on and on with stories with just like this. Just go to your favorite podcast app, such as Spotify, Apple Podcast, or iHeartRadio, and search up OK Storytime. There's a little bit left. I don't know if this was proving a point, OP.
I think it is.
I think it is proving a point, but it's like...
I think as long as it's like he's doing this one day, it's not really taking him that much. Things that probably needed to be done are getting done.
Yeah.
And then you go back to him and be like, cool, I did all these tasks. Are you going to do that many tasks? It'll hopefully just shut the other roommate up pretty quick.
No, I would be like, I did the 40 small little things. Oh my gosh, the toilet's clogged. I'm already up to quota. What are you at? Oh.
Yeah. I think this will stop pretty fast.
Yeah.
It also kind of sounded like maybe the girlfriend got into the one guy's head because it was like, oh, right after his girlfriend started hanging around, the house needed to be cleaner.
I don't know. I just think whoever has this mindset, like, it's a lot, especially when he thinks folding, like, sorting the mail or putting the
mail in a neat
pile is a chore, and he thinks that's equivalent to you scrubbing the toilet is insane. I hate people like that.
Yeah.
As Opie says, I picked only the dumbest, fastest chores on purpose. By bedtime, I had logged 31 chores. The next day, I did 19 more before lunch. Technically, I was crushing it. The house, however, looked kind of insane. The chore board was thriving, but the oven still smoked. The recycling still needed the annoying trip to the drop-off place, and the shower drain was making that glugging demon noise again. One roommate laughed so hard she had to sit down. Another asked why the spreadsheet said we were doing amazing when the house felt worse. That turned into a very short meeting where the whole system got scrapped. Mr. Numbers admitted maybe not all chores are separate species of equal effort. Wow.
Yeah, I mean, was it a little, I don't even want to say passive aggressive.
Nah,
like,
it was
a
fully-
little bit of a roundabout way, but it did get the point across, and it got it across fast, and like, it was a good show and tell moment.
No, 100%. Good on you, OP. And what was it, a little passive?
guess
No, this was fully passive aggressive, and I
Malicious
loved
compliance was what I was looking for.
it. Yeah, I loved it. I'm no longer on catch-up duty, and he has not opened that spreadsheet since. And that's the end of that story.
Problem solved. My roommate keeps breaking our dorm rules, and I finally snapped.
Ooh, like a rubber band?
I am a college freshman in my second semester. I have been living in a dorm with my roommate, let's call him Jason. Jason and I got along just fine. We shared similar personality traits and became pretty close friends in the first semester. A few weeks into the semester, Jason found somebody he had romantic interests in. Eventually, Jason got into a relationship with this woman. Let's call her Jenny. By the way, this comes from Initial Summer 7375, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. I'm Carly.
I'm Keon.
And we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we would do. Let us know what you would do in the comments. And OP says, Jason began having Jenny come over to our dorm very often. Almost every day she was over. I didn't really mind it, as Jenny and I got along just fine. She was enjoyable to be around and reminded me of my cousins back home. But soon enough, Jason and Jenny began to do couple activities. Some days I would walk in on them making out and such. It made me uncomfortable, but I just kept on with whatever I was doing.
This happened to me in college. Not like
Were you
no,
OP?
like yeah, I was OP,
Yeah.
and I'm like, hey guys, want a water? You need some safety? What do you need? I'm gonna sit right here because this is the living room.
Oh, is the living room? I walked in on my roommate and her boyfriend doing stuff, but they were in our room.
In your room?
Dorm room. Like,
Oh.
it was a shared dorm.
Yeah.
She was in her side of
Oh,
our room.
gotcha.
It wasn't common area, but I still walked in.
Okay, that also happens. That's just dorm life.
But I would fully be like, Jason, buddy, go to the room.
Yeah, you have a bedroom for a reason.
Right. I wonder if they just have a dorm. Like,
Yeah.
maybe they're not in a dorm with a common space.
Maybe.
One day, she even stayed the night and slept with Jason on his bed. This was one of the worst nights I have ever had.
Like, are you guys sharing the room?
Yeah, it's a dorm room.
Yeah.
Did you have a private dorm room?
No. I had bunk beds.
Right, so you shared a room.
Yeah.
The entire night, I could hear them kissing and giggling, which was everything I did not need in my life. After that, I had to set up some boundaries with Jason about Jenny being in our dorm, primarily being that she couldn't sleep over. That was the only boundary I had set up. Looking back at it, I should have been stricter, as it made me uncomfortable.
You know what you need to do, OP? Just start farting. Just
Worst
start
fart you
making just funny sounds. Honestly, if they're gonna ruin your moment, make it funny. Start playing whale sounds. I don't know. Use just stuff that would annoy them.
I told him that I had specifically chosen to live in the hall because I only wanted to share a room with one other person, unlike the other halls that had 3+ people crammed into a room. I am paying my money for this room because I only want to live with one other person, aka only Jason, not Jason plus Jenny. He said that he understood and would respect my boundaries. Everything was fine until the week before Thanksgiving break, when Jason and I clashed. He lashed out at me and threatened me because I had bothered him when I said that he looked rough. Jason was sick and his skin was turning red. Oh no. After that, we didn't talk much. Jason had apologized and everything, but I chose to stay in my own lane and keep my distance from Jason moving forward. Now we are in the second semester, and Jenny is over at the dorm every day, even if Jason isn't in the room with her.
Where does Jenny live?
So she has basically become a roommate despite my wishes. We just came out of spring break, and Jason has had Jenny spend the night twice. The first time I told him that she could not stay the night. We had agreed on that early on in the first semester. Nothing had changed. Jason replied telling me that she was sick. Although I understand why Jason would like to keep Jenny in our dorm as a way to look after her, It is important to note that we live in a shoebox.
Wait, she's sick?
Yeah.
Then why she stay?
We can take care of her.
No. How about you go to her place and take care of her where she's sick? Don't bring the sick in our shared space.
I would assume that comes down to more of like the other female roommates don't want a man in their apartment.
Oh.
In their dorm. It is very possible that both Jason and I will get sick as well. Yeah. Now, I don't know about Jason, but I cannot afford to be sick and miss out on school, as I already have too many absences from food poisoning I got early in the semester. So I told Jason that Jenny should go back to her dorm if she was sick. Jason ignored what I had said, and Jenny slept in the dorm last night anyway. Now I'm at a fork in the road. I could confront Jason about Jenny sleeping in the dorm, even though he may ignore me once again. I could just deal with her sleeping over, even though it causes me discomfort, or email my RA and see my options. Ding, 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 ding. Email your RA.
That's probably the best option. Yeah.
I'm surprised you haven't yet. I am considering contacting my RA, yes, as I already tried communicating with Jason and I was ignored. It is safe to say that I will not be dorming with Jason next year, and thankfully I will be dorming with a friend of mine in an apartment-style dorm. It has a full-on kitchen and everything, so I will no longer be subjected to living in a walk-in closet, and I can have my own space. I'd like to hear your thoughts either way, thank you. And we have an update, but you got any thoughts?
No, like, this is what you're supposed to do. Don't be like, I'll walk on eggshells for you guys. You know, sure, you're roommates, but you don't owe him anything. And the fact that you actually talked to him and he's like, oh, yeah, and didn't listen, nah, you did the right thing.
Go to your RA.
Do it. Trust me, you're going to be like, why didn't I do that, like, first semester? Or, like, you know, so much sooner.
The apartment-style dorms are nice, too.
Yeah.
Update. This morning I emailed my RA, as many of you suggested I should. She suggested that we do a mediation meeting. I texted my roommate asking about availability, and he read my message and did not respond. It wasn't until I texted him once again, assuring him that it was serious, that he then gave me a time to give to the RA. I went about my day until it was time to go to the meeting. The RA takes us to the lounge and we begin talking. I explain the situation and what made me go to the RA for advice. For context, I only explained the part where Jenny had been staying over the past few nights while sick, which was against the agreement between me and Jason, my roommate. Once I explained the situation, the RAs pulled up our suite-mate agreement, an official agreement all of the suite-mates made in the first semester. In the agreement, it read that Jason and I agreed that guests could stay over and even sleep the night. I initially agreed to this because at first I did not have an issue with Jenny coming over, and I did not know that her sleeping over would make me uncomfortable, which is why Jason and I agreed afterwards that Jenny shouldn't sleep over. After discussing the situation some more, the RA agreed that although the suite-mate agreement stated that there were no issues with having guests over, the agreement would be updated since it clearly was not working out. The RA stated that because Jenny was sick, she should go back to her dorm and sleep there. Additionally, the RA said that Jenny could be over, but around 10 to 11 p.m., she should make her way back to her dorm, which is essentially what Jason and I had been doing before he decided to stop going with it. They also stated that the university had a 3-day guest policy, where guests could only spend up to 3 days a week in a student's dorm. This doesn't exactly work in my favor, but it is good to know. I also made sure to mention that Jenny would be in the dorm, even if Jason was not around. This is when the RAs mentioned that a part of the guest policy was that guests could not be left alone in the room. So Jason must be in the dorm with Jenny and cannot just simply leave her there. And by the way, you guys must go listen to full episodes with stories just like this one. Go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or iHeartRadio and search up OK Storytime. We've got a little bit left.
College dorm life.
Yeah.
What a lifestyle. Yeah.
Those were the same rules we had.
Yeah.
3 days a week, you had to be with them.
Mine were a lot stricter, I think. Because we
really?
lived in a co-ed dorm.
So did I.
Yeah, but they were like, I don't think you're allowed to have, like, guests or anything like that. But, like, who cared? It was college. Yeah, you're doing the right thing, but it's going to be now awkward because the RA is like, all right, cool. If this works, great. I don't deal with it anymore. But if it proceeds, then we can go and see what happens. But now it's going to be like Jenny and Jason are just going to be, like, side-eyeing you the entire time. Which I wouldn't care anymore.
That's sometimes easier. Like, if they're just going to ignore you and not talk to you, as long as they're following the agreement, get through the next, 10 weeks?
Yeah. But I'd do the funny stuff and be like, oh, you guys are going to be sleeping? I'm going to play whale sounds.
Well, she shouldn't be sleeping there anymore.
I know, but I'm like, oh, you're doing that? You're doing funny time? I'm going to do funny time too.
No, if they're doing funny time, I'm knocking on the RA's door and I'm being like, I don't care that it's midnight.
I'm making fart sounds.
I'm in the room.
I'm doing fart sounds. I'm doing farts all night.
The meeting went just as I expected it to go. I was aware that the official Sweetman agreement wouldn't be applicable to the current living situation, but at least it was able to be updated and edited. I will now see how things go from here. Hopefully the living situation improves, because with the end of the semester coming up, I needed to completely focus on my academics and not a living dilemma. On a personal note, I am pretty sure that Jenny got me sick because I've been coughing all day with a slightly sore throat. Let me know your thoughts and opinions. Could I have handled the situation differently? I honestly cannot complain, but I am open to other ideas. Thanks to all of you who gave me advice and pushed me to contact my RA. Thanks and goodbye.
Yeah, that's what your RA is for.
Yeah, if anything, I would have just been like, you could have gone to her a lot sooner.
Yeah, literally. No, I think you did the right thing, but again, it's a good old college learning. You know,
Yeah.
I feel like not majority of everyone goes through this with like dorm life or college living with a new roommate, but it does happen. It's pretty common. So, and you were one of the lucky few that had to deal with it.
Yeah, I would say for next year, maybe up front, you just say guests can stay, but girlfriends might have some limited time. Apartment style ones also feel way different than just a little shoebox dorm.
Yeah. I gave my roommate an ultimatum. Her parting words said everything.
She's moving out.
So, I, 18 female, moved into my sister's 20 female apartment early last year, along with her friend who we'll call Kate, 20 female. For context, about 2 years ago, my parents and sister came to the city from our country town and spent 2 weeks looking for an apartment, which was already an expensive trip. Kate was already on board to move in with my sister, but did not contribute any money to finding the apartment or moving stuff to the city. Just allowed my family to spend money looking for the place and to pay for fuel getting all their stuff there. By the way, this comes from user Vikiwi52. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. I'm Keon.
I'm Carly.
And we're here to give good advice goofily. We don't have all the answers. We only know what we do, so let us know what you do in the comments, please. As Opie says, fast forward to now. I have been living here for over a year, and Kate and my sister were both on board and happy for me to move into the third room. Immediately, I noticed some questionable habits from Kate. She says she doesn't believe in laundry.
Huh?
What does she believe in?
She just throws out her clothes when she wears them? Or
Is
she
it-
just
is it a- yeah,
stinks?
Is it just a one-time, was it like, oh, I only believe in you get to wear clothes one time and that's it?
It's either that or she's stinky.
Which is a direct quote from her when I asked about it. Essentially, here we go. Essentially, she will put her dirty clothes in a pile in her room and let it build up. And I'm talking mounds of clothes up to my chest. And I'm 5'7". Wait! Okay, wait.
What does she do with them?
What does she do with them? Does she just leave them there and never use them again? Or does she reuse them again?
Keep reading.
Keep
reading. We must know.
She'll occasionally wash her favorite clothes, but otherwise she just buys more.
Oh my god.
Though the mess is contained to her room and the smell doesn't escape as long as her door is closed.
Ew.
So I just left it. She also doesn't do her dishes, saying her mom used to do them at home.
Oh, boo-hoo,
Oh,
your mom's not here.
Yeah, wait. Guess who's not here to do them for you? Your mom.
Mom.
I said, well, your mom doesn't live here. And she just said my sister had been doing them. I asked my sister about it, and she said she didn't want to lose a friend over domestic stuff and to just leave it. Oh, that's bad. However, Kate recently started bringing over her girlfriend, Amy, 21 female, which has brought up some new issues. Does she also have a clothes mountain?
She starts making her own clothes mountain in Kate's room.
Amy and Kate go everywhere together, and I'm talking the kitchen, the lounge, the bedroom, and the toilet.
Oh.
Together? You know, that's actually conserving water.
I mean, they could go one after another.
Nah, they do it at the same time. How do they do that? I noticed they were literally going into the 1.5 meter toilet space together. And last week, I heard a very loud sound from the bathroom and Kate going, oh, that was a big one.
Big poo?
It was a big poo. It was a big stink. And then Amy offering to wipe for her, which was incredibly uncomfortable to overhear. They also go into the shower together and leave the door open while they do so. I usually just try to stay in my room while they're in there, but I have said numerous times that I would appreciate them shutting the door because I don't want to see anything inappropriate and also feel like it's just basic respect.
Why do they want people to see into the bathroom?
There's too many answers, so many questions. Needless to say, my requests were ignored, and my sister said she would prefer not having Kate there, but doesn't want to cause drama. So it is up to me what I wanted to do. Your sister has zero spine. Your sister said, I don't like I don't want to do the drama. I don't like it, but as long as I don't bring it up, it'll keep happening.
It's gonna be tougher, I fear, for OP to get through because they're gonna be like, well, your sister's been living like this for years. She's fine with it.
And she's happy with it.
Yeah.
Right?
I think unless your sister gets on your side, this might be a problem.
Yeah. So I sat Kate down yesterday and mentioned that with the upcoming lease renewal, either she needed to move out or Amy needed to stop coming over because I wasn't going to deal with another year of her not respecting the space or listening to my requests. So, am I the a-hole for asking her to move out? Or should I have kept trying to bring it up in the new lease period? I know she just let me move in, and my sister just put up with it. But this just feels disrespectful as a housemate. Girl, this is disrespectful to anybody, not as a housemate to her. She's disrespecting herself. I don't care if this is gross.
I mean, I think especially because you just moved in, there's the perfect time to be like, hey, I just moved in. Let's have a house meeting and discuss boundaries. And then you can be like, I don't like that you leave the door open while you guys shower together.
Yeah.
I do think that the clothes one, like anything that is contained into her room is unfortunately like
as long as
her
it's not
space.
out. But the dishes.
But the dishes is a communal space, yes.
That's a communal space.
But the laundry pile, like if you said that it really doesn't leave her room, I don't think you can say much about that. If it starts to smell outside the room, which you said it only does if she leaves the door open, then you can be like, girl, it stinks.
Yeah. I would just slam the door shut if they're taking a shower. I'm like, you know what? Stop it. Closing the door.
I think you need to have the conversation
You need to
first,
have,
though.
I think
because if you're just aggressively doing that without bringing up your concerns, then you're just being passive aggressive.
Yeah, but the concerns have been brought up. Yeah.
I don't know that she's brought that one up. That's what I'm saying.
She said her requests always get ignored.
Oh, right. Well, yeah. Sit down, have a house meeting. One more chance, one more warning.
But I don't think Kate cares. She's like, I've lived here.
Yeah, I don't think she does either.
We have an update. Thank you, everyone, for the comments. This morning, Kate made a comment to my sister about how someone needs to vacuum the carpets more regularly and asked if she would get onto that.
Oh, no.
Nope.
Yeah, your sister needs a spine then.
I
You need a good comeback for that.
If your sister's like, yeah, you know what? I'll start vacuuming.
She probably did.
My sister basically blew up saying maybe
Okay.
if Kate and her girlfriend didn't wear shoes on the carpets, they wouldn't need to be vacuumed every day. And she essentially had the same conversation I did and said she was sick of the mess and the disrespect and that Kate needed to move out because my sister and parents were the ones who found the apartment.
And sister got a spine. It's grown.
And you know what else is growing? More episodes with stories just like this. You know how you can find out to get those or listen to those? By going to your favorite podcast app and searching up OK Storytime.
Yeah, do it.
There you go. We got a little bit left here. This is what broke the camel's back.
Yeah, spine fully formed. I mean, I feel like
finally,
too, with OP being there, it's in her head more. It's being brought up to her more.
Yeah.
She's getting more frustrated. Her concerns are being validated.
Yeah, the fact that you're like, this is not a good place to live. And she's like, I know, but I just don't want to deal with it.
Right.
Good for sister. Finally happened. My sister says a lot of their friend group is supporting her with the decision because they had also noticed Kate's habits. And it was actually the reason they had stopped coming to the apartment for hangouts. They were so uncomfortable with Kate and Amy's behavior and their mess. Kate has already started packing her stuff and is going to move into Amy's place. Oh, that's going to be fun for Amy.
Amy agreed? That's going to be a make or break it situation.
I think they'll be just fine. And you know what?
Honestly,
not my circus, not my monkeys.
Yeah.
She said, and I was a little shocked by this. If we want to live in a spotless house, we're going to live a rough life. Real housemates clean up each other's messes and put up with the smells.
Then why didn't you ever clean our messes?
Why did you ever wash your plates? Why did you ever wash my plates? Your mom can't do that.
I've never had to put up with a roommate's smells.
And she proceeded to call us prudes for wanting the door closed while she and her girlfriend showered or got up to do other things. Anyway, it seems to be resolved now, and thank you for all your insight. And that is the end of that story.
Nice. Problem solved.
I mean, you did it.
Sister got a spine.
I mean, you're also young. Both you and your sister are young, and this is like your first time moving into an apartment. So I'm giving you a little leeway. This should have been done If this were me, would have done it immediately.
Well, sounds like OP did it pretty quick.
OP
sister was waiting on it.
Yeah, exactly. So good on you. Way to be the spark for you and your sister.
Yeah, I
So
could
you-
understand it being a little bit harder too for sisters since it's a friend group thing.
Yeah.
You're worried about the repercussions.
Yeah, the fact that my friends aren't coming over because of how my roommate
Yeah.
is insane.